Have you grieved? I thought there was
I
grief
mean, a little
last
bit,
night.
yeah.
Last night there was some grieving. You could, I mean, and obviously, like Jody, I'm
Yes.
looking at you today and thinking when you pop up with your Coyotes gear on, like you have seen this team through the birth of your kids, the growth of your kids, the life of your kids. And this has been your deal. We've joked through the years about how you're Wonder Woman, quick change from this parking spot to over at this place between the two teams. And the Coyotes have been embedded in your household. Like that's been your gig. So I'm just wondering if you've grieved yet.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Last night was hard. I don't know how Todd kept it together signing off because again, then there's obviously no one better to do that. He was the perfect person. He's always been the one with the last word on those pre and post game shows. I know you know what that's like doing those for the D-backs years ago and things like that. And, I don't know that the grieving will ever really end, though, because when something's part of your life and then it's gone, it's just difficult. I put together a picture montage and kind of put it together while we were traveling here. And I'm sure I still forgot a bunch of pictures, but it does. It shows my son when he was little, like in the locker room, and then older now on the set with his girlfriend, like hanging out, and they love the Coyotes. So, you know, and Todd had been there literally for everything. So that had to be, as much as it's excruciating for all of us, I can't imagine how it is for him. And yet he was able to deliver such a beautiful message on television. So I think the grieving continues. It is tough. We could do, we and many people in the Valley could do hours and hours of a show. No one would watch that, right? It's called a council meeting, right?
Group therapy.
We
Group
could do a
therapy.
show on why it didn't work and where it should have been. And I think everyone goes to Los Arcos. I heard Shane Doan even talking about it on the radio yesterday morning as I was driving down to Chase Field, that, and everyone kind of goes back to Los Arcos because it seems like that would have been the best spot for it. Now, again, for a person who drove out to the West Side for 19 years, it's really hard when you hear like, well, it didn't work out there. I see, I don't know the financials. And that's the thing. I can't really comment on people that were willing to pick up the tab year in and year out, including the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, did it work on the West Side? I got to go do a job and walk into a building and smile and see people that I love every day. So for me, it felt like it worked, but I'm not the one looking at the books, right?
Right.
So for me, you could say, could they have just stayed out there and signed the 20-year lease out there, which I know that the Morellos did not want to do, and I assume maybe the NHL didn't want to do. I'm not really sure how that went down, but it's just, it was a celebration of the love of that community last night, and yet it's hard at the same time. It's extremely hard.
We've got to have a solution, not the, well, we hope it'll come back someday. No, let's get down and dirty on this now and find
Yeah.
leaders in the community and I think there's enough sponsor dollars in the community. I really do. It's just the right ones that need to be talked to, tapped on, whatever.
And I've talked to fans and I've talked to people, sponsors over the years. There are people in particular that would love to be part of something bringing hockey to the Valley. And I don't know financially if that's, again, maybe it's not one person. And we know there were groups. There was Ice Edge when they owned the team. That was a group of people. There are a lot of ways that you can do this. I think that obviously it had to be taken out and then built back from scratch, which is what hurts a little bit though, right? And I know they're preserving the logo, the brand, the history and all of that. At least that's what I've heard. I don't
No, I've heard that too.
The team came from Winnipeg. We talk about franchise records. The franchise records for the Coyotes, they do include Winnipeg. And if we say Arizona Coyotes, Arizona Phoenix Coyotes, that's a separate. But yeah, the weeds look real tall for me. I mean, but yes, I think it's great if over the next few months, there are people that are going to dig in and really try to figure this out and see a model that could work here and people that could resurrect it.
Because you'd love to still be involved, right? You're not turning the page.
Of course.
This is just.
Yeah, I mean, because the people are the same. I mean, the
Yeah.
people that I've met through the years, the people that, live and breathe hockey, they're still going to be here. They're not moving, they love the Valley. They love Arizona. And sure, for me, as it's always been, Brad, you mentioned me running around town and doing all those different things and, literally, changing in the car at times to go from job to job. And I enjoy that. So I'm, at the same time, focusing in on the moment and what's going on with covering baseball, keeping me busy. It is a blessing that is keeping me very busy right now, and excited about the team, too. That was what was really special last year. But yeah, I mean, of course, I can't, you know what, though, there's so many people right now that are kind of reeling from this that I don't, I'm just, of course, if the team comes back, I would love to be involved. But I just think right now, it's about taking care of the people that are affected the most by this.
And you're reeling a little bit, I would say, just chopping it up with you for 15 minutes.
Yeah, you didn't expect me to be on the verge of tears this morning, right?
No, but there's nothing wrong with tears. There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of the journey of life.